Well, hi. Today is Friday, January 23rd, 2026. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Coming up today, we are going to talk with Blake Hunter. Blake is a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, and we're going to learn a little bit more about what's going on in the real estate market right now, which is, well, you would think not a lot because it's cold outside and no one's moving. However, that is not the case, and you really should be planning ahead if you think you are going to be in the housing market a little bit later. Blake's going to tell us all about that and a lot more on today's episode. Morning Coffee is supported by Bryce Taylor and GLI Insurance Group, proudly serving Council Bluffs, Tabor, and Clarinda. You know, the start of the year is a great time to reset and look ahead. There's new plans, new goals, and making sure the things you've worked hard for are protected as we roll through winter. Bryce and the team at GLI live and work right here in our communities, and they're always happy to sit down, answer questions, and help neighbors make sense of their coverage. GLI Insurance Group, local people, local service, helping our communities start the year strong. Service Master Restored by Schmader knows it's hard to get back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, smoke, and oftentimes leading to mold, and you might be left with all sorts of questions about how to get your home or business back to normal. Get Cindy Schmader's number in your phone so when disaster strikes, you know exactly who to call. That number, 402-339-9911. And S&B Country Kennel, the top spot in Southwest Iowa when you need to know your dog will receive only the best. Boarding, daycare, grooming, self-washing, training, and even a membership available to a dog park over an acre in size. S&B Country Kennel also has rescue dogs, so check with them about adoption possibilities. S&B Country Kennel, located just west of I-29 on Bunkie Avenue, south of Council Bluffs. Back in the studios on Willow, and this is Mr. Blake Hunter. And good to see you, sir.
Yeah, we're in a new spot again.
I'm just going to keep doing this to you every time you come over. We've got a couple other ones we can go into.
I like it. I feel like I need to have like a coffee and some eggs maybe. And
yeah, this is something that I found at the Restore. I have no idea how old it is. I just thought it looked cool.
It does.
And one day I'm hoping it'll be an outside table under a covered porch. That's my goal.
It would fit well there.
With a bunch of mismatched chairs.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. Man, it is heart of wintertime right now, and it's cold. And that can get people hunkering down, and I'm guessing you're probably not doing a lot of closings as we are talking.
Yeah, I mean, it is our slower time of the year. But man, spring really sneaks fast up on it. Just comes and people aren't prepared. I was just thinking, before I came in today, how quickly things can move and how you do need to be prepared. I have a young couple buying their first house. They're in an apartment right now, and they have to plan because their lease is up at the end of March. And when we first started talking just a couple of weeks ago, the end of March felt like a long ways away. Mm-hmm. And here we are, almost through January, and we, in a matter of 2 weeks, they were able to get pre-approved. We started looking at properties. They do have a property under contract, and now they'll be closing in the middle of February. The great news for them, and I always tell this to people that are currently renting, is, they're going to close the middle of February. Their first payment's not going to be due till April 1st. So they're not going to be overlapping their rent and their first mortgage payment.
And gives them a little bit of breathing room, too, because you've got some time to get out of the apartment and get moved in.
Exactly.
That can be a really tight kind of scheduling window.
Yeah, exactly. Especially depending on the house that you're moving into. Are there any projects you want to get done before you move all your furniture in, painting, all those things? And so for them, it's going to be great. They're going to have a couple weeks of overlap. They don't have to move everything in one day. And if you're ready and prepared, the process can go pretty quickly and go pretty smoothly. And we have their home inspection today, so here we go.
This is the perfect time to do all of that prep work because if like you said, you're going to be moving. I would imagine, and I've been through the process before, but I'm guessing there's probably even more things that I would need to take care of now that I didn't have to do before.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this so much, Todd, about like just having the conversations and getting prepared. But you do have to make a move at some point if you're going to do it. And that move is generally, contacting a loan officer, contacting a real estate agent to get you moving in the right direction. Um, the couple that I mentioned before, they've been talking about this for a year. They've had the conversations with each other. They just weren't quite ready to like really reach out to somebody and start making things happen. And once they did, it goes pretty fast. Could they have started maybe a little bit earlier? Sure. But if you are that person that's thinking about a move, whether you are currently a homeowner or you are renting right now, and you think that this spring, even this summer, is the time that you're going to do it, it's time. It's time to start, having the real conversations and planning, especially if you have a house to sell. We're in a market where it is still a seller's market, but the houses that sell and bring the most money are the ones that are prepared to hit the market. And if there's projects that need to take place in order to get your house ready to hit the market, once again, it's time to start doing those things. So that way, when spring comes and the market's really starting to heat up, you're ready to go and you're ready to put your house on the market.
Also, I know that buying a house is one of those strange things that it is a life-changing decision that you need to be ready to do quickly. Because I remember when I sold my house and I thought that the open house would be done. So I'm just doing drive-bys. Nope, it's still going on because they didn't want to, as long as people are coming, they wanted to be able to show it. And it was probably 2 hours afterwards. And I drove past and there was a couple standing out in the driveway and they're talking with each other. And I knew what it was about.
Yeah.
They're trying to decide, is this the one that they want to buy? After just having looked at it one time, because they knew that, hey, somebody else is going to snap this up if we don't get it right now. Is this the right fit? Does this check enough boxes?
Well, it's a good point. It goes really fast, and that you have to make decisions in a matter, you're showing a property, you go look at this house for the first time, you're going to spend 15, 20 minutes in that house trying to make a huge decision. And at one point, the market was, you basically had to decide when you locked the front door when you were leaving if this is the house you're going to buy or not. We're in a little bit different market now. Back to that couple that I mentioned before, because they're such a good example, is we were actually able to look at the property twice. We looked at it, went and viewed some other ones a couple of days later. We ended up circling back to this property because it checked a lot of the boxes and it was still available. And so, sure, has things slowed down a little bit? Yes, but it's still a lot to decide in a short amount of time. And so like I tell people, especially first-time home buyers, is really make a hard list of what you are looking for and the things that you're willing to sacrifice and the things that you're not willing to sacrifice. And if you have that list put together, number one, you can get rid of a lot of properties that you don't even need to go look at. Yeah. If they don't have that box checked, you're not going to go look at it. If you go to the property, it checks a lot of those boxes. It's just so much easier to make a logical decision and not an emotional decision on whether you like the house or not. And I think that people that have that part figured out are happier in the long run because they thought about those things. They didn't just make an emotional decision when they went and looked and the house was cute. They're like, oh, this is a really cute house. We like it. But, oh, it doesn't have that bedroom that we absolutely needed, or it doesn't have that bathroom or whatever it might be. So if you have those things figured out, it's a lot easier when you start actually shopping.
I guarantee you, I know what that couple was talking about in my driveway. It was, this is a great house with one bathroom. Can we deal with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was difficult for me at times. And I had thought about putting one in, but I just never did.
And a lot of times that conversation in the driveway, we can probably deal with it. I think we can make it work. Yeah, you can put your stuff here, I'll put my stuff here. Mm-hmm. And then 6 months from now, when maybe they did decide to make it work, they're like, we should probably look for a house with 2 bathrooms.
Well, and that brings up a very good point about, making decisions when you're not emotionally attached to it, because that can throw you. Yeah. Because you've seen, I really like this. Because, again, going back to this one, it was very nice. It cottage style, had a great concrete pad in the backyard for, and all of that. But, again, that one bathroom, and you've got a young family, That
Yeah.
I haven't had the guts to go by and go knock on the door and just say, hey,
How's it going?
yeah, because curiosity is getting the better of
Yeah.
me. How about from the home sale side at this point? If you know you're going to be selling your home this year, once upon a time, and maybe this is still true, when I was a painting contractor, I would encourage people to take the house neutral
Mhm.
inside. If you're gonna freshen everything up and you're gonna paint it, just take it neutral, all one color. Is that still, or does that really matter that much?
I really think it just depends on your price point. It depends on the house. What's crazy is we went through that period of time. All these trends, they come and they go. We went through the period of time, and you still see it a lot on people that are trying to flip properties. It's the same flooring, it's the same paint colors, it's the same countertops. And what I see kind of lately is that the houses with character, um, which a lot of times means like bold colors, some things that are a little bit different. Those bring the attention, and a lot of times those bring the sales. I think what's more important than trying to dissect the all the cosmetics and colors of the property is just that you have like your maintenance in check. It's the big things. Have your bigger ticket items been repaired? Have they been replaced? Furnace, air conditioner, roofs are a huge conversation right now with insurance. I think that, homeowners and future homeowners are going into properties and really being logical when they're making these financial decisions is we can do a lot of the things to change the interior of this house. We can paint the walls. We can put some new flooring in if we have to. Um, but can we afford this property based off the insurance because the roof is 30 years old and we're going to have to, fully replace this roof out of
Mhm.
our own pocket? Our furnace and air conditioner is old. Maybe the house in general is old and the plumbing and electrical is old. They're having those types of conversations more than, hey, we really like the cabinets. It's it's
Right.
it's the big things. That obviously changes as you move through different price points, and especially get up to your luxury price points. That's a different conversation. But I think your average everyday home buyer right now is really focusing on those big things.
I also remember back then thinking that, hey, the housing market just can't stay where it's at. It's gonna, it never has. It just kept going up. Now it seems
Hmm.
to have stabilized a little bit over the last couple of years, but um, I don't think we're ever going to see property values return to where they were back in 2015.
No, I mean, it's people keep waiting for this quote unquote crash. And, what's interesting about that is if we do have something like that, that means that something else is really wrong. And are you willing to sacrifice that for maybe some cheaper home prices? I don't think that's a good idea. But it's simple supply and demand. And if there's not enough supply out there, demand will be there. Home prices will continue to go up. It's the same thing with interest rates. I think that we're seeing some stabilization now where the interest rates haven't been so volatile, going up and down constantly. And so people are getting a little more comfortable with, hey, this is kind of what we're seeing. This is what we're going to see. And the future looks good as far as interest rates not going up significantly, probably staying the same, maybe going down a little bit. And if interest rates do go down significantly, prices will go up. So it's, right now is a good time. To me, it reflects back to right before we saw interest rates go way down a few years ago, is the people that are doing things now are the ones that are going to benefit because they're going to get in, they're going to be able to negotiate on a price, they're going to be able to get their home inspection, they're going to be able to, do all the things that they want to do at their maybe 6% interest rate now. And if rates go down enough to justify a refinance in the next year or two, they can do it. If they don't, they still bought at a time when they could negotiate, and the price is where it's at now, not where it's at in 2 years from now.
Is new housing starts we're seeing a few more of those? Are we?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need some new construction, and that's really, I'm not really talking about necessarily a Southwest Iowa. I am talking about Southwest Iowa and the Omaha Metro, but really as a nation, their only way to fix housing is supply. And that's, back to your comment about prices. We're not going to see prices go down unless we have more supply in the market. And, around here, even the new construction, we need some different types. I think there's things that are happening that are improving that. And hopefully I can be part of that here this summer with some new houses.
Yeah, and we're seeing that. We are seeing new multifamily, like apartment
Yeah.
buildings and stuff like that going up, which is going to hopefully ease a little bit of more, people have another option of where to stay, which can translate into the home buying
Yeah,
market. But we got a long way to go.
we do.
There's just when you're looking at a vacancy rate of under 2% or availability, it's just that's a big hill that we still have to
Yeah.
climb.
Yep. Yep. Affordability is still a huge factor. And, people talk about the price of the home because that's, the number one thing they see. They talk about interest rates, whether they know what they are or not. They just know that interest rates are a conversation to be had. But, people don't talk about property taxes as much. They don't talk about insurance rates as much. And those things alone, on top of your monthly payment, can really change affordability. And that kind of takes me back to that conversation I was having before about looking at less at maybe the small cosmetic things and the big ticket items, because, hey, my property taxes will go up, my insurance will go up. So I need to budget for those things. I can't necessarily budget for a new roof and, a new sewer line in the next 2 years.
Yeah, that's tough to
Yeah.
figure all of that
Yeah.
stuff in. Website blakehunter.homes. You've got great information up on the site. If people, whether you're a home buyer or you're selling, just a lot of different things to keep in mind before they make the call to.
Yeah, I've got both those guides on there. My buyer's guide, my seller's guide. They basically talk through from step one what you can expect all the way to closing, whatever side of the ball you're on. Like I said, those are free. You can go get them. I'm happy to have conversations with people just about what they're thinking about, what they're doing, whether that is with your personal home, whether that's an investment, maybe it's a commercial venture that you're interested in. I look forward to those opportunities.
And again, blakehunter.homes, that's the website. He is Blake Hunter, and he's the guy to call if you're looking to buy or sell around Southwest Iowa. Appreciate you, sir. Thanks for
Todd.
coming in. And
Yeah.
we'll pick a new studio next time.
Sounds good.
As the new year begins, the Acres in Council Bluffs, ready to help couples and organizations plan unforgettable celebrations. Set on 13 beautiful acres. The Acres offers a flexible, stress-free venue with no hidden fees and full freedom to choose your own vendors. From weddings and receptions to corporate gatherings and milestone events, the space comfortably hosts up to 200 guests with everything needed for a seamless experience. Start the year by securing the perfect setting for your next event. Learn more, schedule a tour at theacresvenue.com. And if you like driving, you can get paid for it as a first student bus driver. You'll work short hours, earn a competitive wage, make a difference in the lives of children. That pay starts with a sign-on bonus. Fully licensed drivers get a sign-on bonus of $4,000, and those who don't have their CDL yet get a sign-on bonus of $3,000 once the CDL is obtained. Plus, every other driver gets on-the-job training, so don't wait. Apply today at workatfirst.com. And Morning Coffee brought to you by Keith Jones, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Council Bluffs. Learn how he can help you reach your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com for more. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Thanks again, Blake Hunter, for being a guest on today's show. And also thank you for being a local and loyal viewer here of Morning Coffee. I, as you know, am time traveling. I'm actually in Mexico right now, but we record these shows ahead. So keep looking. I'll keep working on getting more videos posted up on the page, and you can see what life is like in a little bit of a warmer place. I'm coming back into the studio by Monday, so I'm looking forward to seeing you then. My name is Todd Studer. Have a great weekend.